Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Whine About with your host, Chevaun, Camille,
and Michelle,
where we whine, W-I-N-E, about life, love, relationships, and more, because sometimes you just need to whine a little. And today we will be whining, as it is our family theme September, about bullying. Okay. So grab a glass of your favorite red, white, or rosé, as always, and join us on the couch.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, have a seat on the couch, not in the driver's side of your vehicle. And if you are in the driver's side of your vehicle, please do not have the keys in the ignition and the vehicle turned on. Translation: don't be driving, okay, and drinking while you're listening to this. Today has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Very busy, coming up on some major activities on this side with the parental's wedding coming up. So I am in the mood for wine.
Good day, bad day. Stay away, don't even talk about it.
When that was posted, I was like, I need to comment. I am fully at the bottom. And it was first thing in the morning. And I was like, I need the barrel. Okay. I am at stay away. And it is the beginning. Like, it was legit 7:00 in the morning. I was legit like, yep, I don't want to be bothered because I need a glass already. So it's been one of those weeks for me, and it is not over, but I am moving right along. But as you know, before we start whining about life, we like to whine about what we're whining on. So Chevaun, tell us about your drink today.
So today, fellow whiners, I have mine is a soft red blend by ALS2WA Silk. And if y'all recall that name, it's because during one of our wine outs, I want to say, the husband had the ALS2WA Silk. So I got the soft red blend. It's a California 2019. Y'all know I'm really not a fan of red. So I'm really not a fan of red. But this is the thing. No. So I'm going to tell y'all why, though. And this is going to be, this is my wine fun fact. I'm going to do my wine fun fact. No, I'm going to do this now. So here's the wine fun fact of why I feel like I don't like red. So we were looking it up earlier, ladies and gentlemen, about decanting wines, right? And red wines, you're supposed to decant for at least an hour, like 60 minutes. If it is a full body, it's supposed to be 60 minutes. If it's medium, it's supposed to be 45 to an hour. Y'all, I can't let wine sit that long. And this is why I think that I don't like reds. Like, we had a whole conversation, so I'm just bringing y'all into the loop. I don't feel like I rock with reds because I'm not here to sit for that. And you don't really have to do that with white. Like, cut that time in half when it comes to whites. I don't know if that's, so I'm not really sure. I didn't read the back of this when I actually bought this, because I didn't buy this for me. I bought this for the boo friend because he's in the reds. But I was like, well, I might as well just try this because it's here and I'm not buying anything else.
Word.
Reading the back of this, now that I'm actually reading the back of this, I don't have high hopes, ladies and gentlemen. Because this thing says a blend of Pinot Noir, Malbec, and Petit Syrah. I let me tell you, I know Noir and I don't really. Pray for me, people. Okay? Y'all, please.
That just sounded like a whole lot. So Chevaun has done the fun fact for today, so we're going to leave it at that. My wine of choice I have been on this brand specifically, Voga Italia. I'm thinking that I may enjoy the brand Voga, all except for that red mess.
The Salento, the red blend, right.
The red mess. That was a mess. That was an entire mess. That's the only one in that brand that I have not enjoyed. So my husband went to the store and he saw the brand Voga Italiente.
You change this every time you say it. Italiana, Italia, Italiente. This thing is going to change every time.
Every time. As long as you guys know it's a thing at this point. And he found a rosé of Pinot Grigio.
Nice.
I have never seen, I've never seen it, and I don't think it's because it hasn't been around. I think I just haven't been paying attention. So, and the shape of the bottle is pretty. It doesn't look like the Voss bottle. It kind of comes out a little at the base. So it's a little bit more sleek. But it's really, really nice. So I was like, well, since I'm here and my husband bought this, I might as well make a thing out of it. So this is thanks to the husband. Thanks to the husband. I am trying for the first time popping grapes, the rosé of Pinot Grigio. And there is, of course, absolutely no description because my wines don't have that. So I don't know what is in this other than Pinot Grigio. Okay. And some type of rosé in some way, and it sparkles. That's just based off of reading. So jumping into our whining topic, as those who are not new to the podcast, if you are, hello. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Instagram at @2wine_about. For those of who know, who have been here, our loyal fellow winers, bullying has been a topic that we have been saying for a few episodes that we are going to take our time and whine about it later. So today is the day.
Man, I'm just over here making faces, y'all, because this is a trigger. I'm not even going to
pretend.
Y'all
don't understand the rock back and forth right now that I am witnessing. It is so trill. She is like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull. Like, go. Charge. Like, it is a thing. So because this is something that my sister is very, very passionate about, I am going to say, why not, my sister? Why
I promise y'all, I'm gonna try not to rant because this is a thing, and I'm not gonna try to monopolize the time. I'm not. I promise I'm not. But let me be very clear on a couple things. Number one, bullying is a huge problem. And it's always been a problem. And it's not going to be a problem that's solved or goes anywhere until people really want to acknowledge the problem that it is. That's number one. Number two, in relation to that, I want to say right now for the record that emotional scars are just as damaging as physical scars, if not worse.
I'm about to say, if not worse.
If not worse. And I'm here to say that they're probably worse. And the reason being because people don't care as much. If you see somebody with a, scar down their right arm or across their face, it's, oh my God, what happened? Are you okay? And you care about what caused that scar. But emotional and psychological scars are worse because you can't see them. So people this person is battling something that you don't even recognize. You don't see, and most people don't acknowledge. That's a problem. Then 3, and I was going to hold this until we started our For the Culture, which is us talking about Black culture specifically. Till we did that next year, 2022, I was going to hold this, but I'm not because I'm Black today. And I'm going to say this today.
All right.
Black people, get your together when it comes to bullying, period.
Wow.
That's it. Because so much of the detriment that exists within the quote unquote Black community is done to itself. I'm not saying that there isn't racism. I'm not saying there aren't external factors that are a problem, but let me say it like this. Y'all have to hold some type of accountability and responsibility because you expect everybody else to anyway. Any chick out here that's got 5 kids by 3 different dudes, y'all quick to tell her, well, you need to choose better, girl. That's on you. You pick bad guys, so you deserve all the trash that comes to you. But the guy out here in the same with 5 kids and 3 baby mamas, y'all, crickets. I don't hear you. So we can't do that. And when it comes to bullying, it's the same thing. You can't talk about, oh, white people do this to us and this to us and this to us. And I'm not saying they get a pass. They do not. But if you ask most Black people, the people that did stuff to them or that traumatized them were other Black people. I've never in my life been called nappy-headed by anybody other than anybody white. Let me say that. I've never been called it by anybody that's not Black, and be flat with you. Okay? Most of this bullying that happens, and bullying is all types of forms. Let's be very clear. I'm not even just talking about children. This is about families. So yes, but not even just that. The, you nappy-headed, bullying. The colorism, bullying. The, you too skinny. All black chicks supposed to be thick, bullying. Cancel culture, bullying in a lot of ways. It's toxic. It's toxic. So when people want to talk about toxicity and this, that, and the third, it starts a lot in the house. Okay, let's be very clear when I say this as well, that you can't go, the school didn't feed my kid. Did you feed your kid? Is your kid eating at your house? Okay. So in the same vein, you can't be like, white people mistreat us. Are you beating each other? Are you disrespecting each other? It starts at home. It starts internally. Yeah, external is a problem. Don't get me wrong, but you got to be good with you. And that goes from a community standpoint to an individual standpoint. Mm-hmm. That's just facts and figures. It does. I can't sit here and be like, that dude is giving me cocaine, because I'm not gonna do crack. I'm not gonna be that crack is whack. Okay,
crack is whack.
Okay, crack is whack. I'm not gonna be that stereotypical. I can't be like, shame on this dude for handing me cocaine. I'm buying it though. And even if I didn't get it from him, I'm getting it from somebody else. If I'm putting it up my nose internally, there's a problem here. He's external. He's just like, I have it for you. I'm providing it for you. He's an enabler. That's a problem. Yes. But the problem starts with me. This problem starts internally. So get it together. And I'm going to pause right here because I said I wasn't going to monopolize all the time. I'm trying to, I'm not trying to do that.
Look, I understand. And I agree. What you said reminded me of what my mother, and I'm pretty sure most of our parents have said, get your house in order.
Yep.
Meaning get yourself in order. And I do understand that there are other extenuated circumstances in reference to self-hate over generations and history and things like that. I definitely understand that. But once we recognize a problem, it is now our job to fix it. I feel like as far as bullying goes, when you talk about our culture, we recognize the problem, but there aren't as many of us willing to fix it. We look for outside sources to help fix our community, and knowing they're not going to, that's not what's going to help us as far as our community. We do have to fix. It is going to be an internal job. We're going to have to do that internal work. Mm-hmm. And there are some psychological things that have been passed down, and generational curses that for those who don't believe in that, that's fine. You can be ignorant to it if you want to. But those internal things that interfere with us from generation to generation to generation, that's handed down. And we have to understand that, acknowledge it, and then implement change. I feel like as far as our community goes, implementing is where we fall short. Implementing is where we start to allow the excuses to be the reasons why not to, or the excuses to be the handicap of why not to. And this is, again, my personal opinion and what I see as far as our community. Now, as far as bullying goes, I definitely have a bullying story, and I will say it still affects me to this day, to the point of where it affects how I am raising my children. But instead of me doing it in a negative way, I tried to do it in a positive way. And like I said in the previous Wine Out with Sean, that you can see on YouTube in color about leveling up, like I said, being more transparent with them has become a thing for me in reference to my teaching to them. And I have been very candid and open in letting them know about my experiences with bullying and why I press so hard for them, one, not to bully anyone else, or if you see someone being bullied, know when to step in and when not to. I think that's another big part in bullying, because everybody wants to say, well, you see it, step in. There is an appropriate time and an appropriate way to step in. If you don't know how to do that appropriately, then you're not going to do anything but put yourself and the person in danger or heighten that situation. Yep. So it's you have to be taught those things, and you have to know the right way to handle things so that a positive outcome, not even a positive, a positive outcome could be more of a result. Right. In reference to that, bullying for me is a big issue. It always has been. And like you said, those emotional scars, they take a while. They become a part of your life story. They take a while to heal, which is why therapy and things like that, and having that good circle around you, and being able to be vulnerable and talk to those people is really, really important. I was bullied.
And just so that we're clear, the definition of bullying is to seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable.
I was bullied in middle school. It started in 7th grade into 8th. And that was the longest extent of bullying. As far as and it really, really played a part on me. It really, really took a piece of me. I had small bullying experiences throughout, like elementary school, and I had a small bullying experience in bullying, embarrassing experience in high school. As an adult, I can honestly say I have not been bullied because I've been able to, and I have learned to say, you're not going to bully me into this. I've learned to speak up for myself. During the course of that longest period, it taught me that, if nothing else, to speak up for myself and to know that I'm not alone. I think a lot of reason why bullying is such a big thing is because it's one of those things where it's you feel isolated, but you're not, because you're not the only one that's been bullied at some point. Like, remember when we were growing up, we were always told a lot of times the bully is being bullied and they don't know how to express that. So they end up bullying people. This phrase, hurt people. Mm-hmm. That's where that comes from. So we have to kind of take a step back and really look at it. And it's painful. It can be painful. My experience came from me doing something right. I literally had a group of boys yanking at my skirt, like literally. I had on a tennis outfit. For all those who don't know, tennis outfits back in the day was the stuff. And I was cute that day. Like, I know I was cute. I was like, oh my God, on my tennis outfit. I ain't played a lick of tennis, but I was cute. And I felt it. And confidence was high, ready to get through the day. You know, you have one of those good days. And I had a group of about 4 boys pulling my skirt up. And the thing is, we had just watched a video on sexual harassment. And I remember sexual harassment. You don't have to take it. You know, all the jokes that they put behind it, which was a serious message. Right. I took it seriously. So I reported it. Little did I know that this was going to turn me into a villain. And that's what it did in middle school. It turned females against me. No guy wanted to talk to me. Of course not. Oh, because she is snitch. Yes, I'm going to snitch if you're pulling up my skirt. What the heck do you think is going on? Like, I was never one of those fast tail girls. That was never me. So, nah. So it was that. So I was like, yeah, you're not going to pull up my skirt and I not say something. It's either me say something, because I know I can't, y'all dudes, I can't fight all of them. So I got to be smart about this. And two, you should have never put your hands on me. Like, what? How am I wrong for saying, hey, you guys are doing something you're not supposed to do to me, and I am turned into the villain? So for me, at that point, that's why when I got that stigma, I then turned in, I became angry. So from there, I was snappy. I was because I was defensive. I was, so now I got to protect myself. These people ain't here for me. So by that, I got a nickname. They called me Pitbull. In my head, thinking, oh, so now y'all gonna call me a bee to my face.
Right.
So, so all of this. And because of my birthday, I have a late birthday, Sagittarius. I was in the class before the class I was supposed to be in. So all of these people were older as well. So it was like, what in the world? So it went from that in the 7th grade to the 8th grade. A group of girls were literally just coming at me. I don't know these girls from the right to the left. I got accused of writing somebody's boyfriend a 4-page letter expressing how this girl wanted to, whoever this girl was, she wanted to do all these sexual things. Again, I wasn't there. Like, mentally, I wasn't into sex. I really wasn't into boys like that. At that point, I was struggling with my grades and my parents. At that point, a lot of people didn't know my grades had suffered to the point where I was literally on punishment my 7th grade year. I was into my 8th, like, horrible, because of what happened that 7th grade. It was really bad. But what I didn't do, I didn't speak up. I didn't tell my parents that I had filed for sexual harassment. I didn't tell my parents the bullying that I was experiencing. I didn't tell them. I had a teacher, my 7th grade science teacher, Miss Blondeville, tell me, we went around the class. She was like, what y'all want to be when y'all grow up? Like, what are your dreams or aspirations? This woman, this educator, literally, I told her I wanted to be an entrepreneur. One, because that's all I knew. I wanted to have my own dance studio. This woman looked me in my face and told me, you can't do that. You're not smart enough. So, now I'm like, oh, crap. Now I got teachers against me. This is a grown woman. So it was middle school for me, to sum this up. Middle school for me was really, really, really hard. And middle school for me was 7th and 8th grade. So going into 8th grade, dealing with this pack of girls from Kidland, pack girls, telling me how I wanted them somebody's man and I was a slut and this, like, all of this. Now, mind you, I didn't live in that neighborhood. I lived in D.C. I couldn't tell you who this boy's name. I still can't tell you to this day what this boy's name is. When they showed me the letter, it wasn't my handwriting. It was pretty. My handwriting is trash.
I agree with that.
Oh, shut up. And I'm looking like, I had one friend, my best friend, Michelle, and the reason why she was my best friend, because she didn't live around there either. She lived in Baltimore. So that goes to show you, like, I wasn't around these people. Why was I the person, the target? I was targeted for so many things that when I say hit me out the blue and I'm looking like, what are we talking about? Who are you? What? I'm confused. How did I get into this? Are you sure it's the right Michelle? Like, all of this, all of this slammed up against me. Blockers, that happened once and I ended up getting suspended because now that's one thing. I would fight you. I ain't had no problems with that. Once I found out I wasn't going to get in trouble for fighting by my parents, it was a wrap. I was ready. Oh, we could go. I'm named Pitbull for that. We could go. Because at that point, it got to,
I have to protect myself.
I have to protect myself. But if nothing else, You can talk to her you can talk about her all day long. If you touch her, then you got a problem. And that's where my relief came from. But my 8th grade year, it got so bad. My dad was like, I'm transferring you. They transferred me in the middle of the school year. When they transferred me to the next school, I saw a lot of my friends who I was with in like elementary school. So immediately it was familiar territory. My grades went up and it was like I was myself again. But for that year and a half, it was really, really dark for me to the point where I was wearing nothing but black and gray. We didn't have uniforms then. To the point where my dad literally, when he took me shopping, he said, you're not buying anything black or gray. Because that's when they noticed. 8th grade is when they really went, wait a minute, something's not right. Her grades slipped like the whole year. I didn't have to repeat nothing, but I was daggone near close. And now she's wearing nothing but black and gray, like no white, black and gray. They were like, yeah, it's something. It has to be that school. It has to be. So that was my bullying experience. And that's, again, in detail for the most part about that. I told a girl, my breath stank, and I didn't even talk in school. Like, I didn't. The only person I literally talked to was Michelle. I didn't talk in school. And that was what it got to the point. I didn't talk. Like, my teachers would call on me and I wouldn't say anything because I was afraid of everybody else saying something. The snicker, the little snickers behind. I didn't talk. Oh, but I had stank breath and this, that, and the other, and all of that. And I was like, and one boy, I don't even know his name. I think his name was William. I do know his name. Was like, how y'all know she got stank breath? She don't say nothing. And I looked up. And he was like, and they laughed and moved on. But I'm guessing that's because he said something.
Oh, it's definitely because he said something. So I will say this, to touch on something. One, generational curses do exist. And you actually touched on a big one. And that is standing by Black males to the detriment of and at the expense of Black females.
Black women. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to get it. That is a whole wine for a whole nother time. So please know that when we do For the Culture, that's coming. I put a pin in that. That is a wine for another time. And we will come back to that because that's a huge problem. My bullying experience has definitely made me who I am because my bullying wasn't 2 years. It was 2nd grade through 9th grade. It was 7 years straight. So for history, I went to, my preschool was private. It was Black owned. It was a Black owned private preschool. Shout out to them, Grasshopper Hill, Black people doing it. My kindergarten and 1st grade was a private school. My parents put me in private schools. It was mixed though. I had my kindergarten class was actually pretty big. My 1st grade class was only like me and 6 other people. It was me, a mixed girl, 2 white girls, 2 white boys. It was that. I wound up going to public school, which this is probably another part of the reason for those who listen to Back to School, which came out on September 1st, why I don't really get behind public schools. In addition to the education is just not great. My experience there wasn't wonderful either. 2nd grade, I wound up going to public school. And the school itself was K through 8. I was there 2nd through 8. And I can't even, literally when I tell you it was every day, that's what I mean. I'm not exaggerating. This is not an exaggeration. That's a literal blanket statement of the truth. My only break was summer break. And it sucked because as a smart kid, all my teachers love me. As a kid who enjoys learning, as a person who enjoys learning, even to this day, that never got killed. It was a huge conflict of interest because I didn't want to be there. I'd have done so much better homeschool. I didn't want to be there at all because my mother, and I remember my mom's thing was, well, you go to school to learn. So just try to put it past you. Here's my issue. 2nd grade was And I had friends like my little 5-girl tribe, you know, the Spice Girls, and I could name all of them. We were all cool. But my rage kicked in. Like the rage I inherited from my father kicked in. I got in a fight 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I would just try to be real quick on the highlights of each of these years. 2nd grade, there were 2 boys, Eric and TJ. Because again, these scars stick with you, people. You don't forget
you can remember names.
You can remember names.
You can remember their faces.
All of that. And it also doesn't hurt or doesn't help, however you want to look at that, when you're literally in the same school with this person for 6 years later, like 6 ongoing years. So 2nd grade, they used to say, unleash the beast. My biggest thing, starting in 2nd grade, and I had no real concept until 2nd grade, I was called ugly every day from 2nd grade to 8th grade. Every day. Before I even had any concept of what that was, because mind you, 2nd grade, I was 7 years old. Before I really even had a concept. So by the time I get to what a concept of that even means in like 7th grade, I've already heard this for 5 years. So I was called Unleash the Beast. I was told I had a big nose. I was told I was made fun of for having big lips. That one later somehow turned into a compliment come 7th and 8th grade when boys got their little hormones going on. We'll get there. That was 2nd grade. 3rd grade was, oh, you too skinny. Somebody found out I did ballet. So that was a thing. Still with the big nose thing, still with the big lips thing. 3rd grade, I learned boys are stupid in 3rd grade because Timothy Wright, and I will never forget Mr. Timothy Wright because I was in line. Now, mind you, we were in an annex. So this was the newest part of the building. And when they built it with concrete. We were in line. He was paving like 2 or 3 people behind me. And he kept me, yo, Chevaun is it, and talking about me. And I said, I wasn't a fighter. I was actually a calm person. He was getting on my nerves, and everybody reaches their breaking point. And I reached mine one time, 2nd grade. This was my one time in 3rd grade. And it just happened to be him. And I was just like, leave me alone. And he kept talking. Then I was like, leave me alone. Kept talking. I peacefully got out of line. I peacefully walked to Timothy, and I peacefully slammed his head against the concrete wall. And my teacher, Miss Melcher, who I saw on my birthday. Well, because I see her all the time. I literally saw her when I went to the mountains, and it was like, are you serious? I see her all the time. And we were her first class out of teaching school.
Okay, because I was like, wait.
So she was young. She was like, oh my God, Chevaun, because I slammed his head and he pushed me, and I'm about to box him. Like, I'm good now. Like, let's go. And we're here. And she sent me to the office. But here's how I realized boys are stupid. Because we sat in the office next to each other. When we get there, the lady at the front was like, why are y'all here fighting? She said, okay, but wait, we didn't get there. She just said fighting. She said, have a seat. Okay, so we're sitting next to each other because there are only like 4 or 5 chairs. We're sitting next to each other. This boy sits there for like 3 minutes and then turns to me and is like, I can't believe you really hit me. I was like, I told you to leave me alone. He's like, yeah, but you really hit me. Yes. And he was like, man, and just kind of sat there. And I'm like, what experience are you mentally having?
I don't think it was mental.
And then he turned to me, and I don't even remember. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't remember exactly what it was said, but it was something along these stupid lines. So you like Pokemon? Like, whoa, what? Like, now you asking me if I like something? How did we get here?
It was his hormones.
But point is, that's when I learned boys are dumb. Okay, that's when I learned boys are dumb. Fast forward to 4th grade, still with the skinny thing. Clothes became an issue because it was the year, and I will never forget this. It was like an alternating year. Nikes were in and Reeboks were in, and Nikes were in and Reeboks were in. And I always had whatever the off year was because I went off of comfort, really.
Right.
So it was that. It was, oh, you too skinny, this, that, and the third. You're ugly. That was 4th grade. 5th grade, I had a whole hate club dedicated to me.
Wait a minute.
I had a whole hate club, and this was when hate clubs were popular. So this is we'll get there. This is when hate clubs were popular. I had an entire hate club, and it probably wouldn't have bothered me except 2 of my so-called friends were in said hate club. And they hated on me because they were like, oh, we hate Chevaun because she always talking about Texas. I wasn't always talking about Texas. I would talk about Texas if I had to go to Texas because y'all keep asking me. And I went to Texas because my father's family was in Texas. So y'all
I gotta go see my family. I'm not grown. I can't make my own decision.
So this was kids. So this was that. But like I say, it was a matter of I had a whole hate club. And what kills me now is 3 people in that hate club, for some reason, like friended me on Facebook way back when I had Facebook, and then had the audacity to say stuff about all these haters I got. Bitch. Like, I'm going to say it like that.
Wow.
Really? Like, that was my first thought was like, honey, you really want to talk about people hating on you? You had a whole hate. I guess we forget. How we forget. 6th grade was more bullying. 7th grade was more. 8th grade was more. Every day it was ugly. I will say the violence stopped because it also got to the point where people wanted to, put your hands on you fighting. Mm-hmm. I said in 6th grade that I was done fighting. And I remember 7th grade, man, people kept trying to push me to fight. It didn't work. And when it didn't work, I was like, I'm not falling into that. You want to call me whatever, then it's just going to be what it's going to be. And the irony flip of that was I wound up basically having bodyguards that I didn't know that I had. I had people, I will never forget this one girl, Susie, who was like, this one girl, Shanika or something, wanted to fight me. And Susie was like, well, Chevaun not going to fight you, but I will if you look up to fight somebody. And I was like, what just happened? Like in the hallway, like, well, hold on. First of all, where did you come from? Second of all, how did we get here? Like, and it became that. I was known for being the peacekeeper of the school. I actually kept my friend in the 7th grade, Takima, from fighting this girl in the 8th grade, Kima. And so me keeping them from fighting.
They had beef because they had the same name.
Close enough. I don't know what their problem was, but it was a big one. And they finally did fight. I went to the bathroom. I came out. They were fighting. I was like, damn it. I tried. I can't be there all the time. Bullying stopped for me in high school, and I went to a predominantly white high school. And this is why I say the problem is in the Black community. I went to a predominantly white high school. I ain't had these issues with white people. And the little bit of attempted bullying that I had in high school came from the Black girls there. Mm-hmm. Because, you think you all that because you from the city school, because you from the city public school, because they were in the suburbs.
But you're like, how do you come to the conclusion that I think highly of myself? Like that, I think that I'm all that because of where I come from. I think that I'm all that because I'm me.
Yes.
There you got nothing to do with
it. And it's because I'm smart and we're in school. This is where I excel. But it had nothing to do with it. And I was quiet. I was quiet in high school.
Right,
and
so
like,
what gave you the impression that I thought?
You think I'm all that. You're envious and you're jealous. And that's what that was. But I had already come to this conclusion by high school. Mm-hmm. But the reason I say that is I went to a whole different high school. And these girls from my middle school who didn't like me. I had a boyfriend who went to one of the public high schools, who went to Nottingham. He went to one of the city public high schools. Mm-hmm. They basically broke us up because he came to me one day and was like, you got a whole boyfriend and this, that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, man, because these girls coming to me, I was talking to one of my friends and I said that I was with you. I said, hold up. You said my name? He was like, yeah, because most school districts, certain elementary schools feed into middle schools, feed into high school. So they do this. And then once you get to high school, like, 3 elementary schools, 5 elementary schools will feed into 3 middle schools, which will feed into 1 high school. That's what it is. So he didn't know them because he had gone to the other middle school. He went to Levy. He didn't go to Hughes. But I was like, and he was older than me. He was like 2 years older, 3 years older than me. And I was like, they don't like me. And it literally came down to, and he wouldn't tell me exactly who, but I knew they were girls that came to my school because he's like, they know you, man. They were telling me like, you went to this class, and you was in this class, and you went to this school stuff, conversations we had about middle school. And I was like, I already told you that nobody liked me. And it just sounded bad. It sounded like I was making an excuse and like, nobody likes me. So and I get that. Mm-hmm. But when I say bullying, that's what I meant. To the point where, and I wouldn't say like the best relationship, but I was dancing like that wasn't really my focus anyway. But these girls took it upon themselves to destroy my relationship by spreading rumors that I was cheating on him with some dude. I had some boyfriend that then they were like, oh yeah, pretended that they were my friends is how they knew all this information. Because I was like, well, how are they even claiming that they know this? These girls don't even like me. Nah, they say that y'all cool. Wow. That's new. because they hated me for 6 years.
Right, but see, then I fought him for that too, because if these are my friends, have you seen me with them?
And that was what I said. But again, by the same token, like you say about being in different areas.
You will never hear me talk about nobody, like none of this. Like if I'm coming to you saying I hate school, like nobody likes me, but now I got friends.
But what I'm saying is we were already in high school. So middle school was over. So they were basically going to him and telling him in 9th grade that we were friends from wherever again. And it was a messy thing. But that was when I was like, yo, bullying just extends. Now, here's where I am as an adult. We not going for that at all. Like I am more violent in my adulthood than I was in my childhood because I tolerated so much for so long. So at this point in the game, if you want to be on some bullying stuff like that, come see me.
Well,
but I say that because bullying and all of those scars that I hold and people whose names I still remember and things that still affect me are things that will never leave me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had conversations with you. I've had conversations with Boo Friend. I've had conversations with various dudes that I've engaged with or dealt with who I've been like, yeah, I was the ugly friend. And they will look at me and be like, well, how? You're not ugly. But I will never feel pretty. And I may not have ever felt that way one way or another, because then you get the question nature versus nurture situation. And I'm sure that, you know, had I hit middle school or high school, all of these magazines and everything would have pushed their jobs to tell me that I wasn't pretty anyway. But I'd at least had a concept. I was not allowed to have self-awareness before people foisted their opinions of me on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In that way, when it comes to physicality. I had already known I was smart. My preschool teachers told me this. My kindergarten teachers told me this. My first grade teacher told me this. Even through all the bullying, my teachers were telling me this. My mom instilled it in me. You weren't going to shake me. So I figured if I'm not going to be pretty, I'm going to be smart and I'm going to be a good person. And that was another reason that ironically, I think made me a target, because I decided to be a good person. I was like, well, because this was also around the time of killing with kindness. So I was trying to be quiet or kind. Either ignore me and so don't bully me because you don't see me, or you can't bully me because I'm nice. And let me tell you that killing with kindness doesn't work.
Right. No, it doesn't.
And I learned that every time that I snapped, because people kind of left me alone for a second.
Yeah, because I've been trying to be nice, but let me tell you, here we go now.
And when you speak to teachers, here's where my beef comes. I should have skipped the grade twice. I should have skipped the 3rd grade and I should have skipped the 7th grade. But here's why. Here's what my issue is. I'm going to tell you exactly what my issue is. 3rd grade was on some race stuff because, again, my teacher, not my teacher's fault per se. Miss Melcher was new, as I told you. Her 2nd grade were her first class. So she had me 2nd grade and it was a 2nd, 3rd grade blend. And she was already giving me all the 3rd grade work, basically. And she asked her more experienced teachers who were out in the suburbs, her friends who were experienced teachers that were teaching in suburbs, you know, like I have this student, what do you think I should do? Should I skip them? And they basically told her, I mean, she's smart for a city kid. Basically, I mean, she's smart, but she's the smartest of the dummies. So she's not really smart. She's smart for a Black kid. So she's not actually smart. She's that. So that's why I didn't skip 3rd, which is fine because I actually like Miss Melcher. The reason they didn't move me to 8th, and here's what bothers me about this, Michelle, I'm going to be honest with you. 7th grade, I got pulled out of math, right? I got pulled out of math and put into 8th grade math anyway. I got pulled out of my 7th grade math class and into my 8th grade and into 8th grade math with 8th graders. All of this stuff because I was bored, because I was literally reading during class. And it happened quickly. It was like the first month. Within the first month, and we go to school September. So by the end of September, instead of being in the 7th grade, I was 7th grade math. I was in 8th grade math. So the question came on the table, should we just move her all together? The reason I didn't skip and go all the way into the 8th grade that it came up later was because they said I was socially inept.
Wow.
Mind you, these are teachers that have seen me 7th and 8th grade, you're a horrible teacher and you need to be fired because you don't recognize bullying when it's happened, or you see me getting bullied and
you don't care.
You don't care. Because to say I can't skip a grade because I'm socially inept, but all of my friends are in the 8th grade. One of my classes is in the 8th grade. All of my academics are even bringing you to the question of, should we skip her? This is the second time this question of should we skip her is even being brought up 4 years later, because the first time came up, should she skip the 3rd? It didn't happen. Now it's being come up, should we just move her all the way into the 8th? It wasn't because of my grades. Clearly, that's why it's even on the table. It was, she's socially inept. Because I decided not to be around my torturers. Because I decided to go hang out with people who actually liked me. How am I socially inept? Because I don't hang around people my own age. Well, people my own age are petty, call me ugly, try to trip me in the hallway and do all this other physical nonsense. They're abusive. So, and this is why I have issue with abusive relationships in any form. I was abused, and your issue was that I didn't want to be around my abuser, and I chose to be around people older than me who didn't abuse me. I'm inept from that? Really?
Things that I feel like it's things that we see as children and we recognize. And back in the day, we didn't say much. One, because we didn't want to be seen as being disrespectful. That's one. Us being disrespectful, that was the worst thing in the world. Like, we had respect and we didn't want our upline to see us as disrespect. The difference nowadays, these people after us, they don't care. Which on some levels I can appreciate, but on some levels, I need y'all to check it.
I can appreciate it if you're going to war for yourself and standing up for yourself, regardless. And that comes from, I get behind that with the civil rights. I mean, think of all the sit-ins and everything that people did. They literally broke the law and were disrespectful to the law. They were criminals for the right reasons. So if you're going to be disrespectful for the right reasons. The other problem with all of this was I didn't find out till after the fact. My mother didn't find out till after the fact. It was, we've already made this decision. She's been in 7th grade the whole rest of the year. And then there's a conversation. Oh, well, we thought about skipping her. My mother's the one who came to me and told me, yeah, they didn't skip you because they said you were socially inept. And I was like, mind you, I'm in high school by the time this conversation even comes up. And I'm like, all my friends were already in the 8th grade. She was like, I know. I was like, my math class was the 8th grade math class. I know. All of the 7th graders bullied and abused me. She's like, I know. So I was supposed to sit and break bread with these people and try to be friends with these people?
You're supposed to want to be socially accepted.
And you already know. And I think that, you know what? Let me tell you right now, finding out what I found out about me not skipping the 8th grade and why was the turning point in my life. That's what did it. That is what opened my eyes to a lot of the foolishness, especially in the Black community, because these teachers, most of the teachers I had, honestly, at that point, were Black, to be quite frank.
Yeah,
so it was when I learned stuff about just the world in general, how much people say one thing and really want you to do something else. It was, okay, I'm ugly, I'm gonna be a good person. Does that even really matter? And like I say, I still carry the scars of that with me to this very day.
No, I get it.
So I'm gonna just say this about bullying from my end. One, it's extremely damaging, and you carry those scars with you forever. I will forever live with that, with my being aware of what other people might think of me first versus what I think of me. Two, a lot of these generational curses that exist that come out and manifest in bullying need to be addressed head on. And the excuses need to stop. And three, if you are a teacher or an educator or a parent and you see your child being bullied, or if you see your child being bullied or bullying, fix that. If you see your child being bullied, I need you to address it. And I need you to go to war for your children. Because I wish my mother had pulled me out of that school. And I'm not saying it necessarily would have been better at Levy. And I had issues at the high school that I was going to. I didn't really want to be there. But the one thing it never did was kill my love for learning, but I could see how for a lot of people it would.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with those points. And with everything said and done, I am also aware that bullying is a part of life. Mm-hmm. It's one of those unfortunate parts of life that, to be honest with you, is not going to go away. And because of that, what I will say to anyone who is currently being bullied, I'm not going to tell you to get over it in a harsh, mean, whatever, get over it. Like we all go through it way. In a snobbish, blind way. I will say it makes you stronger. It does, because you learn more about yourself faster. Because you have to. I feel like you get put in a defense mode to where you have to learn how to handle it. I will say this. When you get put in that mode, try to find a healthy way to handle it. Whether that be talking to someone, whether that be journaling, whether that be finding a pen pal that you can, tell this to. Find a healthy way, whether that be seeking counsel. Like saying, Mom, I think I just need to talk to somebody, anything like that. Because bullying is not going anywhere. It's not going to stop because we are human. And when they say bullying builds character, I completely agree. It does. It makes you realize how strong you are, like what I can handle, what I can't handle, how. But the thing is, you don't recognize that as a child. You don't. You recognize, okay, well, I got to deal with this, however I can deal with it. And that is what creates those life stories, those scars, those wounds, because some of them aren't even scars. Some of them are just open wounds because they haven't healed yet to be a scar. So while not saying get over it, but saying let's find a way to deal with it in a healthy way. I'm not excusing the people that's bullying. You are still completely and utterly wrong. And that's truly disappointing. But knowing people are people and people are going to be people from now until the end of time. So bullying is ultimately not going to go anywhere.
I'm gonna add to that, and this isn't gonna be the PC nice way to say this. I'm gonna say this the way I say this. If you are being bullied, do what's healthy. Yes, all that she just said, that is great. Yes, do that. Yes, do it. Also think smarter. Mm-hmm. If you got to be one of those calculating people to take your enemies down, take your enemies down. Know that you can take somebody down. No. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it.
She might have us been Jamie Foxx and what's his name and law-abiding citizens. I'm gonna calculated blow people up while he's supposed to be locked up in jail. Lord Jesus, help us.
I'm not saying go to gun. I'm not saying go to school to gun. Don't do that. I'm not saying do anything extremely violent. I'm not necessarily saying that either. What I am saying is figure out what your strength is and build on that. Because you may find that it is a time for you to also hone and sharpen your skills. I have one of the quickest tongues out here. I definitely did. It was stronger in middle school and high school and in college. It's a little out of practice because I don't have that foolishness around me. But my tongue back in the day was lethal. My tongue now is lethal if I let it off the leash. And what I learned is people may hit you. You may get hit. But if somebody is trying to show out and bully you, because most bullying is words, it's really not even physical. If somebody is trying to bully you with words, hit harder, verbally. You can. I'm sure you can. Find their weakness and go for it. Because even if they hit you, people are going to be like, yo, you heard what she said? Yeah, she beat her up. Yeah, she beat her up. That's fine. But did you hear what she said? Because words are harder to take back. Words, once they're out there, You've heard it. It's not going to leave. It's already burned into your mind. And if somebody does decide that they want to hit you, then I suggest you take the Michelle route and beat the brakes off of them. But wait for them to hit you first.
Hold on. You're the one who beat people up too, so don't just put it on me. I mean, okay. I'm not gonna go into detail about that.
He was more the verbal one. You were more the physical one. What I'm saying is find your strength to defend yourself. That's what I guess my point is. And if you are one of those people that your mind works very calculated, because I know some people like that, and you can jiggy rig some stuff, and you can have some, you know, if you're one of those Home Alone type people, if you don't know that, look, if you're a kid and you don't know, just get the movie.
They know what Home Alone is. It be on all the time.
If you haven't watched it, watch it. Okay. If you think
the
like Macaulay,
one, not 4 and 5.
Home Alone 1. If you think like Macaulay Culkin, do that. I mean, he was rigging stuff in too. Do that to the point where, but just make sure it doesn't come back to you if you're going to do that. Okay. Be smart. That's what I guess my advice is to those being bullied is find your weapon, hone your skills. Listen, I'm all about vengeance.
Well, clearly.
So that's what I got to say. And sing, ding, cheers to that.
And I was going to say cheers to that because, where I am not a violent person.
Listen, everybody gets to their breaking point.
Hold on. I understand that. I'm not a violent person. I'm not. I lied. I'm not a violent person, but I do believe in self-defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody's tail, it's not the word I want to use. It's not against my creed. I'm just saying, if it's well-deserved, it's deserved. Sometimes you got to take what's given to you.
Listen, I'm going to say to y'all is I'm from New York, okay? And we believe in self-defense. We have a whole law for it. So all I'm going to say is let them hit you first. And when you hit back, hit harder and put them on their back. Whether that's verbally or physically, I'm going to let you choose the medium. But that's my advice to anybody being bullied.
And cheers to that. I'm in complete agreement to that. On that note, my glass is empty. Chevaun, very quickly, tell us, what is your rating for your red sweet blend?
No, it's a soft red blend. Ain't nothing soft about this.
Soft red blend.
So again, this is Menage a Trois Silk, soft red blend. To the back of the bottle we go, ladies and gentlemen. Lord. Experience Menage a Trois Silk, a smooth, seductive red blend that caresses you with every sip. This seamless, lustrous blend of Pinot Noir, Malbec, and Petite Syrah glides gracefully across your palate like silk. It's the lavish, luxurious experience you've been craving. I crave none of this. It not seductive. It was smooth. That's an adjective that's accurate. It was seamless blend of, I'm sure it is all three of these. And let me tell you what, I don't like not nan one. This garbage, trash, basura. I'm not for it in the least bit. It's a 1. I didn't even finish this glass. And y'all know I'm good to finish it, even if I don't care for it. I could not. I feel like Sean right now, 3 zeros, just zero. I mean, I can't give it a 0 because we said what, but I promise you, like, I really want to give this. You know what? I might have to give my first 0. I can't recommend this to anybody. I can't even tell you to taste this, try this, nothing. Leave it on the shelf. Boo Frank can have all of this, all of it. It's horrendous. I really cannot say anything good about this red blend. And maybe again, it's because it didn't decant. Like maybe it's supposed to be best now. No, it's better. It's better after decanting. So I will give you the 1. I will give you a 1. If you like red, you may like this. It's been here for an hour. At the very outset, I tasted it and said, God, save your child. That was what I said when I first drank it, because I needed deliverance. After that, sat here and opened and aired and the tannins and everything, because I think this is a full body. This is a full body. We've been talking for like an hour. So tasting this after an hour, it got a little better. But listen. No, it's a 1. It's a solid 1 because I can't do a 0.5. So I'm going to round up and be kind.
Why we can't do a 0.5?
You know what? You're right, because we can do point increments. It's a 0.5. It's 0.5. It's a 0.5. I don't even know where to go with this. It's between a 0 and a 1. It's not better than a 1, people. Okay. But I guess I will come down on the 0.5 because we can't do 0.5 increments. You're right. God, it just seems so stupid. I'm done. It's horrible. Don't do it. It's bad. No.
Okay. So you guys got a sense of Chevaun's Tourette's in that review, because she went like back and forth.
It's just bad.
Oh, okay, I believe you. Jesus. I can't taste it. So I'm going to believe you. I'm sorry that you had that experience. Look, I'm apologizing for them.
If there's any of this left for the wine out, it's coming, because I'm not the only one that's going to suffer. Okay. I'm going to bully somebody into drinking.
Okay, well, I am now going to give my rating, which is definitely a 3.5, because yay.
Oh, great. Yes.
You know, I'm trying to bring the mood up, because it just got real hostile. Like, it was like, and yeah. Mine is a 3.5 for this rosé of Pinot Grigio. I give it a 3.5 because I'm not a big sparkling person. That's never, the older I get and the more I get into these wines and things like that, I am finding that out about myself. I'm not a big sparkling person. The Pinot Grigio itself, you can taste it and it's good. It's smooth. It tastes, the sparkle is not overpowering. It blended very nicely with it. I had it with, what did my husband call this? Garden taco or something like that. And it was pleasant. It went very well with that. So, and I do recommend something like a taco or a cucumber sandwich, something like light hors d'oeuvres. This would be one of those light hors d'oeuvres type of cocktail wines to me. And again, this is my opinion. I did enjoy it. There's no description on the back of the bottle because my wines don't work that way. As far as sweetness goes, it wasn't really sweet. It had more of the sparkle to it, but it wasn't really sweet, which I appreciated. Yeah, that's so a solid. I said 3.5, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give it a solid 3.5. Like, and that's only because I'm not a big fan of sparkling. If I like sparkling, the rating would be higher. But yeah, I like it. I definitely like it.
Yeah. So before we go, the summer is over, guys. It's a wrap. Fall is coming. Fall is here. Mm-hmm. And so we did this at the end of spring, which wasn't really a whole long time. So I pulled our stats, our podcast listener stats. You can catch us on all your major podcast platforms. And so I pulled them for the summer, July through August, because we'd already done June. So just kind of a little off, but July through August. So our top countries that we had listeners were the United States, of course, France.
Oh, wow.
Brazil, Germany, Bahrain, the United Kingdom, and Japan. And I just want to shout out to those in France, Germany, Bahrain, and Japan, because y'all are new. Y'all were not here when I pulled 2 months ago. So those are our countries. So our states. Do you want to take a guess of what our top state is?
Is it in the East Coast?
Yes. Well, yes, it is. I had to think geography for a second. Yes.
Is it above the equator?
Yeah, states are above the equator. The United States, the whole country is above the equator. So yes.
I meant not above. I meant like close to it.
Is it south? Is that true? It's like southeast, I think.
You think?
It's in a weird position.
If you guys could see my face right now. I'm guessing the city or the state?
The state. Our top
Tennessee.
State. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Our top state is Tennessee, followed by the DMV area, of course. Alexandria and Temple Hills, all y'all. Hey. Mm-hmm. Texas coming in third. Dallas, I see y'all. Y'all still here. Y'all still here, Texas. Tennessee came to play this time around. Kentucky, Louisville, is you still there with us? And California, San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So since you guessed the state, do you want to guess what our top city is?
In Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I don't know cities in Tennessee. I just know it's a state.
Okay. So our top city is West Memphis.
Oh, Memphis, Tennessee. That makes sense. Okay.
Our top city is West Memphis, followed by the next is DC, of course.
Hometown.
Dallas coming up third. And then Alexandria, the DMV area places. And our top platforms are Amazon, then Audible. Audible is new.
Oh, wow.
So if you are listening on Audible, shout out to you.
Hello, and welcome.
Giving you the church
welcome. On YouTube, you get to see us.
So, yes. Amazon, Audible, Google, Chrome, which I'm assuming maybe people listening on the website, but I'm not really sure.
Probably.
And Spotify. So thank you to all of our listeners all over the world, literally.
All over.
Literally. Bonjour à France. À France, bonjour. And hola in Brazil. What's up in Germany? I don't know German. Sorry.
I was going to say something ignorant again. I'm not going to do this.
I don't really know what y'all speak in Bahrain. Is that Arabic?
It sounds like it.
Do y'all speak Arabic in Bahrain? Hold on, let me look that up. Bahrain language. I mean, even the Middle East, but I don't want to. Arabic is, so I'm going to say to y'all, marhaban. Sorry if that's not 100% right. I learned Arabic from an Egyptian, so that's all I really got is marhaban and Leila Saida. Okay, that's what I can do.
And I got nothing. I love the love and appreciate everything, but I'm not even about to. Okay, my name is French, and y'all heard me butcher the French wine. Yes, a mountain Cade. Okay.
Hello to those UK across the seas, and konnichiwa to Japan. Hello.
I know that one.
So that's me saying hello to everybody. If I ruined
your accent, I'm sorry. On what you said. Hey,
so we are happy to have all of our listeners. We really do truly appreciate you all. So I just want to shout y'all out. Please follow us on Instagram. Connect with us. Say hi to us on Instagram.
Yes, we talk back. I promise y'all we talk back. We're not antisocial that much. I promise you. We're just two regular people. We definitely enjoy conversation, hence the podcast and all the various topics that we have, ladies and gentlemen. So please don't be shy. Look, if you want to see us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube. Leave a comment under any one of the in colors, the wineouts. We'll talk to you. We'll have a problem with it. Just let us know. We want to hear from you guys. And we definitely appreciate it. We are, like I said, two regular people that really just feel like we cannot be the only people that feel and think this way. So appreciate the love. I appreciate the support in every way that you guys have. It's truly appreciated, and it gives me the warm and fuzzies on the insides. I feel it in my jellies, as they say on Pokemon.
Oh boy.
I watched it the other day. I did. I watched the other day. He was like, you feel it in your jellies. I was like, I don't know why that's the cutest thing in the world. But Pikachu's my favorite. Pikachu and Jigglypuff are my favorite Pokemon. So it's the whole thing.
Charmander all day for those.
Fire. You see?
Charmander and Bulbasaur were the two I was here for. Yes.
Valid.
Water and fire.
You know what I'm saying? She trying to set you on fire.
I'm sorry, Pikachu is lightning, right?
Okay, but Pikachu is cute. But you had to get Pikachu there. Like, Pikachu was like, oh, Pika. You know, it was Pikachu. Like, it was cute, right? Until you pissed it off. I think I'm Pikachu.
I think I'm Charmander. I think I'm Big Meech. Every group. All right, anyway, we have to go, people.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to a wonderful, wonderful conclusion of another great episode of A Little Something to Write About with your hosts, Tae Michelle and
Chevaun Camille.
And we'd like to thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to join us each and every Wednesday for another new episode. And let us know, what are your feelings on bullying? Have you been bullied? We'd like to hear about that experience and how you handled it. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. Or just hit us up on Instagram at A Little Something, 2, wine about. And as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine.